I remember flying in over Oregon, and it was a drizzly Oregon day with the rain and everything. It was just perfect because that's what I always kind of imagined Oregon would be like, with lots of green, lots of trees. And it was me and another companion that was in my district that came to the mission together. And we were really late because our flight was delayed and stuff. And so the other missionaries had already been put with their trainers, and we were the last ones to arrive to the church. And so our mission president, we met him there at the church, and the APs came and picked us up. And but yeah, I just remember being really excited, really nervous right when I got my companion, my trainer. Then we went off and we did splits, and I had my first, I just dove right into it because I was split off with a member to go teach, and didn't even teach with my trainer as my first lesson. So it was kind of just thrown on me, which was, I think it was a good experience to have that happen, just to give me confidence that I could really do it. So the mission boundary, since it split with Salem, it goes up to about Corvallis, Oregon, and over to the coast it's called Depot Bay, and all the way down to Redding, California. So we have the northern part of California and just a corner of Nevada as well. And so we have the greater portion of the state of Oregon, but the population, the biggest city is Eugene, and it's only 152,000 in population. And so Portland's a lot smaller geographically, but there's a lot more people in that mission. There was 10 stakes with, I served in mostly Spanish branches, so there were about 60 members per branch, one Spanish group that was only about 15, 20 members, but on average, the English ward that I served in was in attendance probably about 150 on average. The Eugene, or the state of Oregon, I believe in one of the reports was reported one of the least religious states, in the least attended to church, by population per capita, in the United States. And so there's definitely a lot of, Eugene has a reputation of being very hippie-like, and it definitely was. There's a lot of interesting ideas going on, very liberal in Eugene, but as you work your way south, it's very conservative. There's, I served with there's a lot of Catholics. There's a ton of different churches, though, very many different denominations, some of them that I'd never heard of that are very local. There was one street that I remember walking down that just church on every single corner of that street. It was called Churchill. And so it was definitely a wide variety of religious beliefs. I think that a lot of it was, there was a lot of inactivity due to being offended was one of the common threads, and it seemed like just helping people develop patience and charity, I guess, would be to balance that out, and to realize that they're going to church for themselves, and just really find a testimony of the Savior Jesus Christ was probably the biggest thing. And there was a lot of it was just timing, though, as well. It's just their time to come back to church. It was interesting because in our mission we had a lot of shifts in the way we were supposed to work as missionaries. Just by our mission president would tell us that no longer, we're not going to focus on less actives anymore. We're just going to find new investigators, and then we would switch to finding through less active people. And so I think that just a balanced finding effort would have been helpful, finding through non-members that are investigators, finding through less active people. I think if we would have kind of balanced our efforts a little more, it would have produced more new investigators, new contacts. So there's a temple in Medford, Oregon. It's one of the temples that was in the Gordon B. Hinckley era. There's another one up in Portland that's just outside of our mission, but Medford was in our mission. I know there's some, let's see, who was it? Famous basketball player. They went to BYU, is from Oregon area. I know that it was settled a long time ago. The growth of the church has been pretty slow and steady. So first I was in Eugene. I served there for about 7.5 months, and then Klamath Falls, Oregon. Then I went to the opposite side of our mission, Newport, Oregon. And then from there I was in Medford, and then back up to Springfield, which is right by Eugene, and that's where I finished. So I spent about a year in the Eugene Valley, and then about 4.5 months in the other 3 areas.